హలో మై డియర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్. ఈరోజు మనం ది హిందూ పేపర్లో వచ్చినటువంటి కొన్ని కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ రిలేటెడ్ టాపిక్స్ని డిస్కస్ చేసుకుందాం. వాటిలో ప్రధానంగా విల్ బి డిస్కసింగ్ ద టాపిక్స్ కాల్డ్ as వరల్డ్ హ్యాపీనెస్ ఇండెక్స్, వరల్డ్ మ్యారిటైమ్ డే 2020, ఐటీ యాక్ట్ 2000, చైనా వాస్ టు గో కార్బన్ న్యూట్రల్ by 2060, 20th amendment of Sri Lankan constitution. సో మై నేమ్ ఈజ్ లక్ష్మయ్య. నేను సైన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ మరియు ఆంథ్రోపాలజీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ని. First, if you look at the World Happiness Index, so this is the article that is there in editorial paper. Finland is ranked as the world's happiest nation for the third consecutive year into 2020, and Nordic states dominated the top 10 along with the countries such as Switzerland, New Zealand, and Austria. So that Western Europe is one of the most prominent place where most of the happiest countries are located. Luxembourg edged into the top 10 spot for the first time this year. Luxembourg has been has become the one of the top 10 countries, top 10 happiest countries in the world. Worst performers. Worst performers countries as at the bottom are those afflicted by violent conflicts and extreme poverty. So these are the two important areas. So what are the major parameters? Are nothing but violent conflicts and extreme poverty are the two major parameters that are worsening the World Happiness Index. Zimbabwe, South Sudan, and Afghanistan has classified as the world's least happy nations. These are the three least happy nations across the world: Zimbabwe, South Sudan, and Afghanistan. So, what is the priority for these three countries to be considered as the world's least happy nations? Is violent conflicts and extreme poverty. So, what is the position of India? So India previously ranked at 140th in 2019. So now it has been stood at 144th. Its rank is way lower than its neighboring. Nepal ranked 92, Pakistan 66, Bangladesh 107, and Sri Lanka 130. So among all the neighboring countries, we can see India's performance is extremely low, and India is a new entrant to the bottom 15 group countries. Lowest bottom 15 group countries. Among the lowest bottom 15 countries, India has become one of the major role. So actually, this is the reason is nothing but violent activities and extreme poverties are making the Indian scenario to get this place of 144th rank. Next, World Maritime Day. World Maritime Day. The theme of World Maritime Day is Sustainable Shipping for a Sustainable Planet, is the 2020 World Maritime Day theme. Theme is very, very important for your examination point of view. Just to go through it. Sustainable Shipping for a Sustainable Planet. So, sustainable shipping means reducing the dependence on the fossil fuels for shipping is one of the major objectives. The theme provides an opportunity to raise awareness of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So, the major theme, sustainable shipping for a sustainable planet, which is also one of the major part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. World Maritime Day first held in 1978 to mark the 20th anniversary of IMO, International Maritime Organization, Convention's entry into force. So as it was entered in 1978, the first World Maritime Day was celebrated. Okay. Next, celebrated across the are held throughout the world to focus attention on the importance of the shipping safety. What are the major objectives for the celebration of this day is shipping safety, maritime security, and maritime environment, and emphasize on particular aspects of IMO's work. So these are the three areas: shipping safety, maritime security, and marine environment, conservation of the marine environment. IMO, International Maritime Organization celebrations held at IMO headquarters located in London. So this is one small topic which is there in the editorial page. So here you can see hatred speech are Google and Facebook, WhatsApp. These are the social medias which are promoting the hatred speech. So Section 79, Clause 1 of the IT Act 2000 is clearly explaining how these particular hatred speeches has to be controlled. So it is one of the attempt and which has to be modified as per the current needs. So the demand from all the sources to repeal or to amend this section 79 clause 1 of IT Act 2000. So this is one important topic, and we'll be having a wider discussion about this topic as a general essay topic. Beijing seized the climate agenda by vowing to go to carbon neutral by 2060. By 2060, China is planning to become the carbon neutral country by 2060, and according to its Paris Accord. So it has accepted the Paris Accord. So the reason is, yes, US had gone away from this Paris Accord. China has taken the lead to follow the Paris Accord. That is one of the most welcoming thing that has been started by this Chinese government. But the problem is the target is extremely distant, which is nothing but 2060. The goals, which include a pledge to reach peak emissions in 2030, are the most concrete ones yet announced by China. So it has installed several thermal power plants even till date, and these all thermal power plants, and these the emissions that are coming from these thermal power plants are to be concluded by 2030. So China is, which is the world's biggest polluter and accounts for a quarter of the planet's greenhouse gas emissions. This is one of the important point for your examination point. World's biggest polluter and accounts for a quarter of the planet's greenhouse gas emissions. China aims to have carbon dioxide emissions peak before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. 2060. And election pledge. So actually, Sri Lanka is planning to amend its 20th constitutional amendment. So which is one of the major amendment to repeal the 19th amendment. What is the major objective of 19th amendment is introduced by the former government in 2015 that imposed curbs on presidential powers. So 19th amendment focused on reducing the presidential powers while empowering the parliament and independent commissions. But this 20th amendment is planning to repeal, give the more powers to the president and reducing the powers to the parliament and independent commissions, and where most of the opposition governments are opposing against this particular 20th constitutional amendment. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll continue in the next video.